guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jennifer Nimalo. I actually do a lot of financial content, career content, as well as lifestyle content. So if you like any of those, please make sure that you join us by clicking that red subscribe button on the bottom. And also, please don't forget to smash that like button. So today it is Monday and I'm at work. As you can see, I did allude to that in the morning. I don't know if I'm gonna put that part here because it was just so gloomy and so dark in the house. So I'll see if I'm gonna put that part here. So I thought, let me just firstly just come and formally introduce this vlog because it is just gonna be a one day of me being at work. I thought, let me show you what I have, and then also I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the questions that I've been getting regarding filling in a Z83 when you're applying. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to print the Z83, and then we're just gonna talk briefly about it before I actually start working. Even though guys, I have a lot of, I'm sorry that I'm talking to you guys as I'm doing this. Let me do this. Even though I have, let me just log in. So even though I have a lot of work, like I have 2 reports that I just have to conclude. The first one is the one that I normally submit every month, and so that one I just need to add a narrative, and then the statistics part, the financial part is already done. I just need to add the narrative and then submit that. And then there's also another one that we have to report, we have to finish and submit. We're given 2 days to complete that, but I don't know if we're going to do that. And then so those are the 2 major things that I have to make sure that I do by the time we hit 12 today. I should have finished those 2 reports, and then I can start with my normal work, which is to maintain the database, and that takes a lot of time, especially beginning of the year. We get a lot of queries, and it's my responsibility to record all the queries. So the first priority for me are the reports, and then to do my normal work. But before we do that, let me actually print out the Z83, and then we can talk quickly about it. In the meantime, while that is printing, this right here, the Z83 is trying to print, I am just gonna put this thing where I want to put it. So I printed the Z83, but then I realized that it's actually filled. So I'm just gonna go to the DPSA website and look for one. DPSA, and I decided to actually show you guys so that you can also see where you look for vacancies when it comes to government, just for people who are not familiar and the people that were asking as well. So this is the website, Department of Public Service and Administration. This is the department that is responsible for publishing vacancies within government. So that includes national and provincial departments. So when you get on the site, when you get on the home page, you come here on quick links and you click public service circular, and then those are the circulars right here, latest PSV circulars. These are the circulars based on numbers. So the first one for this year was this one, and then they publish every Friday. So this is the latest one that I haven't seen, but that's where the circular is for people that have been asking for that. Now I want to look for the Z83. So this is where the Z83 application form is. Please make sure that you get the approved Z83. You see, it says here, new Z83 application form effective from 1 January 2021. Make sure that you come here and get this one, just to make sure that you got the right one. Okay, this is the one, I think. Anyway, let me print this out so that I can just, because you can see like the quality when you're looking at the computer is not the same. So let me just print this out, and then we can talk. So the sound quality on the previous part was not good because I didn't realize that the mic was not plugged on completely. So this is the Z83. Let me just move my bottle. This is what it looks like, ne? I'm also going to show you a view from here. So here, the most important thing when it comes to the Z83, guys, okay, let me just give you a background. Z83 is like an application form within government. This is what you use when you're applying. So you're going to attach your Z83, it's your Z83 and your CV. Currently, when it comes to applying within government, you are not required to submit your supporting document. So that includes your ID, your driver's license, your qualifications. You are not required to attach those when you're applying. But please make sure that you read the circular, you read each and every department's requirements, and make sure that they actually say they don't need them, because some departments do require them, but I do know that those changes have been made, and so there isn't a need for you to actually attach your supporting documents. But the two important things when you're applying is your Z83, which is this. You print it out, you fill it out. Actually, I'll suggest that you fill it out in your computer and then print it out, and then you also attach your CV, ne? So when it comes to your Z83, the most important things now, because your Z83 is the decider whether your application is considered or not. And when I say is considered in terms of the first phase of the recording, ne? So the first phase is when they receive your applications, they have to record them, ne? So your application has to have the Z83 in order for it to pass the first phase of your application being recorded. So you need to make sure that you've got all the details correct, especially the reference of the post that you're applying for, as well as the name of the department and the name of the post, and make sure that it is signed here. As I said, I'm going to give you a close-up look. So you need to actually fill in those things and fill in everything to make sure that your application passes the first phase, ne? So your Z83, you can choose not to fill everything, especially when it comes to qualifications and previous work experience, especially if that is in your CV. That is not a decider whether you get a job or not. A Z83 is also not a decider whether you get a job or not. So when you're filling it, please do not go into it thinking that this is a decider on whether I get a job or not. This is the decider on whether you pass the first phase or not. So it is that important. It's important in that regard. So you want to make sure that you have it. You want to make sure that it is filled properly so that you can pass the first phase. When it comes to then the second phase of the shortlisting, the Z83 is not as important. Why? Because the Z83 is used by HR. So HR, what they do is they use all your the details that you've put in your Z83. It makes it easy for them to actually create a list of people that qualify for the job, because they go through your Z83. They look for the post that you applied for. They check if you meet the requirements as per the advertised post and what you have on your Z83, and then that is what they are going to write. That is how they are going to create that list. So you want to make sure that you pass the first phase of you actually first being considered for the post, and then the second part is for HR to be able to pick up that you qualify for the post. So it's not a deciding factor whether you get a job or not, because after HR has done that list where they say, okay, these are the people that qualify for the post, these are people that don't qualify for the post, ne? So what then happens is during the shortlisting, HR is not involved anymore. What they do there is just to observe. So for people that think that HR people put their people, when they are post, they put their people, it doesn't happen like that. I just want to assure you that it doesn't happen like that. Please get that out of your mind, and whoever told you that was lying. So please also do not listen to the naysayers out there and all the talks that are going on regarding how shortlisting or how employment happens in government, because that is actually not the case. Actually, even the DG himself or herself in any department cannot interfere with the HR processes and put their own person. He cannot. That is just how strict the processes are. Obviously, there will be loopholes there and there where people can take advantage of it, but it's highly unlikely. So what I'm saying here is, once HR has done with that first part of actually making sure that they create the list of people that qualify, and they don't just pick that up out of nowhere. They look at your Z83, they look at the requirements, and then they say, okay, the post said they want 1 to 2 years experience. In the Z83 here, there's a part where it asks you how many years of work experience do you have. You're supposed to write there. So if you have 3 years of experience, already there is a tick for you. They will put there that you have that, and then they will go and check. Okay, so the post said they want someone with a national diploma, and then they look at your highest qualification. Oh, you do have a higher diploma, then you get a tick there. And then they also look there, they say they want someone with administrative experience. Then they go there and then they see that, okay, your work experience is administrative, and then they put there, they tick there. So then you will then meet the criteria in terms of the advertisement, ne? And then that's how it will go about. Ne? I hope that I'm making sense. So that is the first phase. So they don't just pick it out of nowhere. They make sure that they look at your Z83, and then they will then tick where the right boxes are. So that is what the Z83 is for. So now let me just show you quickly the Z83 and how you must fill it, ne? So this is a Z83. What you need to make sure, just to make sure that you have the right one, these are the things you need to check. You need to have this part of the initial here at the bottom. Please make sure that this is there, and please make sure that when you're filling in your Z83, you initial this each and every page. So there's that, there's this, and then you sign here. You initial and you sign and you date your Z83. If you don't initial your Z83, you will not go past HR. If you also use the old Z83 that does not have this, you will not go past HR. So you will not even be considered by the recruitment team. You won't be considered by the shortlisting team if you use a Z83 that doesn't have this. And you can't print the old Z83 and then put initial, and no, please make sure you use the right one. And then we go to position here. So there's first part, which is position. Please make sure that you put the position that you're applying for as per the advertisement. So write it in full. And then you also write the department where the position is advertised. You write the correct reference. Please make sure that you always write the correct reference, because if the reference is wrong, your application is going to go to the wrong pile, and then you'll not even be considered because it's a wrong application. And then here you write when are you available. So if you are currently working, normally that's like 30-day notice if you're working, and if you're not working, you can say immediately. And depending on your work, you might find that you have to serve a 2-week notice, but for most people who are working, it will be a 30-day notice. If you're not working, it's immediately. And then you write your personal details, guys. I'm not gonna spend time here. I think everyone knows how to fill in their personal details when it comes to applications. Your name, your surname, it's self-explanatory. That is why I just didn't know how to talk about this video, because when I look at the Z83, it is self-explanatory. It guides you on what you need to fill and what you leave out. So here's the part that is new when it comes to the Z83. This one, please specify the total number of years of experience you have. If you have been working in the private sector, you're going to write here. And then if it's public sector, you're going to write here. So let's say, for instance, in private sector, you have about 2 years. And then in public sector, you have about 3 years. You write here, because that allows HR to actually see how many years of experience do you have. And then if the post says they want someone with 2 to 3 years experience, and you have 3 years experience here, then it's easy for them to actually to tick that box for you in the list. For them to say, okay, you qualify in that regard. And then the second page of the Z83 is your contact details. So please make sure that, guys, if you're going to be applying, please do not change your contact details frequently. Have a standard email, an email that you know that you check frequently, because some departments are not going to call you. They will send you an email. So you need to make sure that you don't change emails frequently. You also don't change a phone number frequently. So you write here, preferred language, whatever. Contact details, guys, please. So you can choose email. write your email, and then also add your phone number. Like, there's nothing wrong with, you can just say email, write your email, and then just add your phone number there. It's just good to have it there. And then language, guys, this is not a decider whether you get a job or not. You do need to feel it, but don't worry yourself about that. It doesn't mean that you're gonna get a job or not, you know. And then qualifications, these are important. These two are very important. Now, I know that some people will say CV attached, CV attached. I would do that sometimes, but I wouldn't recommend that. Just write this in full, ne? Write this in full, because you allow for HR to then not to be confused in your CV. Sometimes people's CVs are so confusing. So when you have it here, it's very easy for HR to see that, okay, the job says they want someone with a matric certificate. Okay, this one, the highest certificate is actually a diploma. Oh, okay, they meet the minimum requirements and they even surpass it. They tick that box for you as to say that you qualify. So you need to write your formal qualification. So you start with the most recent one. So if you have a diploma, you start with your diploma, matric, ne? If you have your highest qualification is masters, you start with masters, bachelor's, honors, honors, bachelor's, and then matric certificate. You start with the most recent one. Ne? It says here from highest to lowest, ne? And then work experience, also attach a detailed CV. So here it's just a brief. So that's why I don't recommend people to say CV attached. This is a brief, and as I said, this is used by HR. So you don't want to confuse the process. You want it to be easy as possible for HR to figure out whether you qualify or not. Don't complicate things for people. So fill this out as well. So your work experience, you write the most recent ones. So the most 3 recent ones. And even when you're doing your CV, the most 3 recent work experience is the ones that hold value. You can add other ones, but the 3 recent ones, they hold value. So you write the recent work experience, you follow with the other one and the other one. And then the last part is the references. Now, references are used when it's time. Let's say, for instance, you've been shortlisted, you went for interviews, you passed it, and then now they have to check your references. This is the people that they call. So please write them out, and then you sign, you date, you initial. And then you attach your CV. And then you attach your CV, you're done. So that is about it when it comes to filling in a Z83. Simple as that. You just have to make sure that you filled in the correct Z83, and you see it by this part down here, and that everything is filled out according to the information that you have. Please make sure that you do your part. You do your part that way, so that at least you pass, you go through the first phase of HR, and then the recruitment part, or the shortlisting team, that's another phase. You actually have no control over that. But this is where you have control as an applicant to actually make sure that you are considered. So I've talked enough. I'm just gonna get back to work now.
But then you fall back, giving me signs that I've seen before. Yeah, it's cute, but honey, I want more. Don't waste no more time.
by now. Tell me what you learned in grade school. Give it to me like you want it. Did you forget that golden rule? Why is our love at one-sided? It should really be give and take. Fill you up and leave me empty. Baby, was that my mistake? Covering these feelings, going through changes. I'm just so mad right now, I can't even think straight. So I'ma just tweet it and delete it, knowing you won't read it before we get too far away. I need to clear my mind. I'd rather just tweet it and delete it before we cross the line and we reach a point we can't rewind. Rewind, rewind, rewind. Tell me what choice I have now. I just wanna get it right with you, but if we try to talk about it, our history says we'll just argue.